Last December, there was no end of Messiah presentations with big, full choruses singing the Hallelujah chorus, and that's all well and good and appropriate to the season. Well, sort of. We have a special concert coming up, Handel's Messiah, the great oratorio, by the Virginia Chorale, with Charles Woodward conducting. Chuck is our guest today to talk about this presentation of Messiah, coming up March 12th and 13th. That's next Saturday and a week from today, Sunday. And I guess the first question, Chuck, after we welcome you back,
thank you very much,
is why Messiah in springtime?
It's very interesting. I'm asked that all the time, Dwight. Messiah was premiered in the springtime. Handel intended Messiah to be performed during the Lent-Easter period. And I think it probably was the Victorians who actually were instrumental in moving that into the December period.
Most of Messiah, just in terms of length of music, is not Christmas.
That's exactly right. Messiah is in three parts, and the second and third parts have more to do with the Easter story.
The first production, I understand, was a benefit concert, wasn't it?
I believe it was, and it was done in a theater in Dublin. You read the most interesting things about the performance. It was done in a theater, and women were asked to not wear hoops in their skirts so that they could squeeze more people into the theater.
Okay.
You know, he wanted to basically try it out in Dublin, to see how it would work. It was a great success for him there, and we are very pleased in our presentation to look to that first performance for inspiration.
It also, that first performance, as I remember, had reduced forces, or at least from what we experience nowadays.
That's exactly right. The resources he had available to him in Dublin were a small chamber choir, about 20 singers, and a small chamber orchestra. And so we have gone back, as I say, to that format in our presentation.
A limited number of singers and a very small orchestra.
That's exactly right. And the soloists actually came out of the vocal ensemble.
I see.
So that was an interesting format. The orchestra contained no oboes or no bassoon. You always hear that now. In true Handelian fashion of always tinkering with something, we've decided to go ahead and put the oboes in. We like the color. The instrumentalists come from Washington, Charlottesville, and Williamsburg. They're all period players, which allows our audiences to hear the work with a slightly different sound. They're all playing on replicas of period instruments.
And the tempos, and you can address this as conductor, the tempos sometimes in the past couple of hundred years have seemed to have broadened out and slowed down a bit. Are you going to adhere to the more brisk tempos that were probably used in the first production?
Yes. In fact, this is one of the exciting things about this piece of music. We take a very brisk approach to the tempi, a dance-like approach. And I guess it was about 10 years ago that my eyes were really opened to the possibilities of what Messiah could be. There was a recording that was made. I believe the group is the Dunedin Consort. It's a Scottish group. John Blow is the conductor. And it was a recreation of that 1742 Dublin premiere. The tempi are brisk and dance-like, as I say. It's just an exhilarating experience to listen to it in that manner.
Wonderful. We'll be looking forward to it. Saturday, March 12th, next Saturday, 7:30 p.m., Sunday, March 13th, 3 p.m., at St. Paul's Episcopal Church.
We love the connection. St. Paul's was built in 1739. Messiah premiered in 1742. So we have a nice historical connection there.
So, historic surroundings for an historic performance of Handel's Messiah. Will it be the entire Messiah?
It will be almost the entire Messiah. You will notice that there are several pieces in the first edition of Messiah that are slightly different from those that we hear today. So we will be doing those original arias. A couple we have cut out just for timing, but it will be about 2 hours. 2 hours in length.
Well, it's going to be refreshing to hear Mr. Handel's Messiah as it was done back then in Dublin, and we are certainly looking forward to it. Chuck, thank you, as always, for your fine work
with
the
Dwight.
Chorale and for coming in today.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.